Hello and welcome. You're watching Newsx with me, Devika Chopra. We're back to our rolling coverage of the aftermath of the Pahalgam terror attack. With that, at the top of 6 o'clock, we have some breaking news coming in. We've been told that an all-party meeting on the Pahalgam terror attack has now begun. Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and opposition leaders including Mallikarjun Kharge have all arrived at the Parliament Annex for the meeting. Remember, the union government had called for an all-party meeting at 6 p.m. today to brief leaders of the opposition. We've also been told that Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh have also been reaching out to leaders of various political parties on this matter. My colleague Manohar Kesri joins me on the broadcast. Manohar, can you take our viewers through some of the details? What exactly are we picking up? Visuals on our screens currently of JP Nadda walking in for the all-party meeting. Who else have made their way?
देखिए, बिल्कुल ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग के लिए सारे लीडर्स पहुंच चुके हैं। अगर मैं बात करूं, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह, केंद्रीय विदेश मंत्री एस जयशंकर, राजनाथ सिंह, जिसकी अध्यक्षता में बैठक होने जा रही है, वो पहुंच चुके हैं। वहीं अपोजिशन की ओर से राहुल गांधी पहुंच चुके हैं। टीडीपी की ओर से मैं बात करूं तो कृष्णालू देवरालू पहुंच चुके हैं। वहीं वाईएसआर से मिथुन रेड्डी पहुंच चुके हैं। समाजवादी पार्टी से रामगोपाल यादव पहुंच चुके हैं। आम आदमी पार्टी से संजय सिंह पहुंच चुके हैं। इस तरह से सभी पार्टियों के नेता मौजूद हैं और इस बैठक में पहलगाम को लेकर के, पहलगाम में जिस तरह से टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है, इसे लेकर के सरकार ने अब तक क्या कदम उठाए हैं। जिस तरह से कल सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक की बात हो रही थी, लेकिन सरकार की ओर से पाकिस्तान पर जो डिप्लोमेटिक स्ट्राइक किया गया है उसकी जानकारी दी जाएगी। अब तक लगातार बैठकों का दौर जारी है। जैसा कि हमने देखा कि बिहार की धरती से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने जिस तरह से पाकिस्तान पर हमला किया है, उन्होंने कहा है कि बड़ी कार्रवाई होगी और ऐसी कार्रवाई होगी कि कल्पना से परे होगा। कल्पना भी आतंकियों ने वैसा नहीं किया होगा। और साथ ही साथ उन्होंने ये भी बात कही है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने घटना को अंजाम दिया है, 140 करोड़ वासी है, उनकी इच्छा शक्ति जो है, उस इच्छा शक्ति पे हम खरे उतरेंगे और देशवासियों को आश्वस्त करते हैं कि बड़ी कार्रवाई होगी और चुन चुन करके आतंकियों के जमीन को जो है सो खत्म कर देंगे, मिटा देंगे। और उसके बाद विदेश मंत्रालय में भी बैठक हुई। 20 से ज्यादा देशों के जो है सो डिप्लोमेट्स उसमें शामिल हुए, उनको जानकारी दी गई। उसके बाद केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री और फॉरेन मिनिस्टर एस जयशंकर, वो सेना के प्रमुख जो कहे जाते हैं, सर्वोच्च सेनापति जो कहे जाते हैं, यानी राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू के पास जाते हैं, उनसे मुलाकात करते हैं और पहलगाम आतंकी हमले की पूरी जानकारी देती है। और उसके बाद जो है सो अब बैठक, सर्वदलीय बैठक शुरू हो गई है और इसमें सभी दलों को एक साथ लिया जाएगा और बताया जाएगा कि सरकार ने अब क्या कुछ किया है और क्या कुछ करने की जरूरत है। सारी चीजें जो डिस्कस इस मीटिंग में होगी। जी
ओके मनोहर, बने रहिए हमारे साथ. आई विल कीप कमिंग बैक टू यू बिकॉज वील कीप आवर आईज एंड ईयर्स ऑन द ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग एज वेल. वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग द मीटिंग टू लास्ट फॉर अबाउट एट लीस्ट एन आवर और सो. Okay, let's cut across to Omar Abdullah.
मैं सिर्फ आप सबके सामने जो आज ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग के हवाले से जो करारदाद मंजूर किए गए वो पढ़ के आपको सुनाऊं और इनकी हार्ड कॉपी जो है अभी तैयार की जा रही है. जाते जाते इनकी हार्ड कॉपी जो है आपके हवाले की जाएगी. We, the participants of the all-party meeting of Jammu and Kashmir, deeply shocked and anguished by the recent barbaric attack in Pahalgam on 22nd April 2025 on innocent civilians, do hereby adopt this resolution in a spirit of collective solidarity and resolve. We unequivocally condemn in the strongest possible terms the heinous, inhumane attack in Pahalgam that targeted and killed innocent civilians. Such cowardly acts of brutality against peaceful citizens have no place in society and are a direct assault on the values of Kashmiriyat and the idea of India, which have long been a symbol of unity, peace and harmony in the region. We stand unwavering in our commitment to support all efforts to bring these perpetrators to justice. In doing so, we affirm that no act of terror can ever weaken our resolve or extinguish our indomitable spirit. We also support the steps taken by the Union government announced yesterday. We extend our deepest condolences to the families who have suffered loss. We share in your sorrow and stand united with you in this time of profound grief. We salute the supreme sacrifice of Shaheed Sayyid Adil Hussain Shah, who ferried tourists on his horse in Pahalgam and was martyred during his attempt to fight one of the terrorists to save the tourists. His valor and selflessness shall remain forever an inspiration to all. He is a true face of Kashmiriyat and Kashmiri hospitality. We hereby commend our people for the extraordinary display of their moral and material support to all the tourists across the Kashmir Valley and for their resolute unity in condemning the recent attack. We appreciate the spontaneous, peaceful demonstration across towns and villages across the length and the breadth of Jammu and Kashmir, which exemplify our unwavering commitment to peace, communal harmony, and the rule of law, and reaffirm our collective resolve to foster mutual respect, uphold constitutional values, and work collaboratively for the prosperity and stability of Jammu and Kashmir. We humbly and earnestly appeal to the governments of all states and union territories in these trying times to come forward with unwavering commitment to protect the Kashmiri students and citizens who find themselves far from home. These individuals, whether traveling or residing outside Jammu and Kashmir, must be safeguarded against any form of harassment, discrimination, or intimidation. We call upon all political parties, community leaders, religious institutions, youth groups, civil society organizations, and media organizations in J&K and the nation to maintain calm, resist provocations of those who seek to disrupt harmony, and continue working together for peace and development of the region. Unanimously adopted on 24th April 2025 in Srinagar by the consent of all members present at the all-party meeting. Is it yours? You can distribute these copies. Huh? Yes. That's mine. Yeah.
All right, my colleague Ajay Jandal joins me on the broadcast. Ajay, take our viewers through the big developments taking place in Jammu and Kashmir. We've just heard Omar Abdullah at the all-party meeting, of course, condemning the attack. But what really become the big takeaways?
Yes, Omar Abdullah condemned this attack which has taken place in Pahalgam, in which 26 people have died and more than 30 people have been injured in this horrible attack on the tourists. And during the all-party meeting, Omar Abdullah condemned this attack and says that this is something which have shaken the people of the Kashmir, because Kashmir is known for the Kashmirians, not for such kind of things. And he says that whosoever is responsible, government should take strong action, since Home Ministry is under the Manoj Sinha, who's LG of the Jammu and Kashmir, and that's why he says that we can condemn it, and we are really strongly standing with the union government and the Lieutenant Governor administration, so that strong action can be taken against the terrorists, those who are responsible for this attack there in the Pahalgam.
All right, Ajay, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. I also have with me Mr. R.K. Bhargav, former IG of the BSF. Mr. Bhargav, let me begin this conversation with you. I want to understand from your perspective, sir, what really will be some of the crucial steps that will now be taken by the security forces in the next few days. Of course, the priority of the government will be to hunt down the 4 terrorists that are involved in the Pahalgam terror attack. But beyond that, what really will be the priority of the security forces in the coming days?
Of course, first is tracking down these terrorists wherever they are, following them and eliminating them. That is the first priority, because the public is looking for it, that they are eliminated, they are found out and they are killed. It is the public, what the public is saying. But at the same time, because the incident happened, I believe, because of some sort of complacency, there was no security force in that area. And at other places, there might be some complacency, there must be absence of security forces in certain areas. So now the government will have to see that it covers all the areas where the tourists are going, where such type of incident can take place. So that is the first priority that the government will have to take care of, that it deploys its forces well before the tourists start coming in. Of course, for the next 7 8 days, perhaps the inflow of the tourists will be less. I have come to know that some of the tourists who had the plan to go to Srinagar and that area, they have either postponed it, and most of them they have cancelled it. But after certain time, they will again start coming. But before they come, the government will have to ensure, and they have to tell the public that yes, now it is safe. We are looking after you. We shall look after you, and we have made sufficient arrangement for your security.
Okay, all right. Let me, on that note, bring in Professor Madhav Nalapat into the conversation as well. Professor Nalapat, rapid developments taking place at this point in time, sir. What really do you think will be the outreach of the government to the people of Jammu and Kashmir?
Well, I'd like to point out one very heartening fact, which is that throughout the length and breadth of India, we did not see any communal violence whatsoever as a consequence of this terrible attack. And I think that is something that shows the resilience of the people of India. The fact is that whenever a terror attack takes place, Mumbai, for example, and there are other examples, the people of India are resilient and they bounce back and do their normal work. So the same thing will happen here as well. But the reality of the situation is that this is something that needs to be tackled on a war footing, and we have to make sure that the whole area is made sanitized, and some of these depredators have got to be caught. That's the one way that public confidence will remain in the capability of the security system. I'd like to say that overall a good job has been done. Kashmir is in fairly stable shape, but still this kind of attack has taken place. It does show, quite frankly, that more needs to be done, and I'm sure more will be done. And in the meantime, the perpetrators of this, the actual wire pullers, the masters behind these cowardly terrorists, I'm sure they will be exposed by now, and I'm certain that retribution will come to them. Thank you.
Professor Nalapat, at the same time, sir, when you say that yes, there has been no communal violence reported across India in the aftermath of the terror attack, so in a way, designs to divide communities, which was essentially, it seems, that was the biggest motive behind the terror attack. In a way, we can say that it has failed. India has proven that it stands united in the face of fear, in the face of terrorism. But at the same time, with the diplomatic escalations now taking place, what do you think has prompted Pakistan to believe that suspension of all bilateral agreements, including the Simla agreement, is in fact going to hurt India in any way?
Yeah, I'd like to say that yes, that's a very heartening sign. And the second heartening sign is the fact that the people of Jammu and Kashmir, the entirety of Jammu and Kashmir, have come together, because frankly, this is also designed to finish off tourism in Kashmir Valley. It's such a beautiful place, and it was filling up with tourists. The whole design is to ensure that the Kashmir Valley be stopped from entering into an era of greater prosperity and be stopped from doing more of their work. And tourism is one of the most important sources of livelihood in Kashmir. So this is an attack on the whole state of Kashmir, and of course the whole country of India. But this shows These terrorists do not want Kashmiris to be prosperous. They want them, frankly, to be even much poorer than what they are now. They're doing well now. Peace is there. And there's been no problem at all whatsoever. And it's returning to normalcy. And that will promote economic growth. There's a time when, frankly, I was saying that Kashmir could become the knowledge hub of India because it's such an attractive destination for investment and for knowledge industry. All that can happen only in a climate of peace, and these terrorists and those who masterminded the operation, they're determined that Kashmir should not enter into normalcy, there should not be peace, there should not be prosperity, and that is what they want. And the Kashmiri people realize that these are their enemies, they are not their friends.
Absolutely. I want to bring in on that note Major General K.K. Sinha into the conversation as well. Major General K.K. Sinha, an all-party meeting is currently underway in the Parliament, sir, where the government is briefing leaders of opposition and others on perhaps what could be possibly the next steps that India takes. We have taken swift decisions as far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned. Pakistan has now retaliated, claiming that the Simla agreement stands in abeyance. If you could perhaps help our viewers understand what really become the implications of this knee-jerk reaction that Pakistan has taken to put all bilateral agreements on hold.
Good evening and Jai Hind. You have asked me to dwell on certain aspect what has happened, and decisions which are taken. You have spoken about Indus Water Treaty of 1960, which has been held in abeyance for the time being, and that is the major, we can say indicator. See, it is a water war, and has got a military dimensions. And we have been speaking, the military has been speaking because it is a part of the plan, but it has never been done. It came in 60s, 47, 48, of course not, but 63, when Salgam Valley, they have gifted after 62 war to China. That time also the talks were there that you should do it. It was an option. 65, 71, and thereafter Kargil, we never did it. In spite of, we have been, because this is one of the prong of military responses, which the Chinese, the Pakistanis will not, Pakistan as a state and the people will not able to hold it. It has got major ramifications. Now coming back to Simla Agreement. Simla Agreement is the 1972 agreement, which is after the East Pakistan war, which became Bangladesh. And in 72, India actually lost what we gained in 71 by this agreement. We were never in this favor because what that time, because it is not only exchange of 93,000 prisoner without taking, even the POK would have been taken that time. It is not in our favor. LOC is the part of that which never, militarily and strategically, never, it was never in a favor. And everyone knows who knows the strategy and who understand geostrategic understanding of the area or the region. So it is a good thing. I think, we should have been obligated, but they have done it. I wish, all the best, because it is a defunct. It has got nothing to do with it, because it has been nothing actually matters on that. The point is that, the way the things are happening one after another and very fast track. Prime Minister coming back from leaving halfway from Saudi Arabia, coming here, carrying out, the review of the situations in airport itself. Then it's the CCS meeting yesterday. I will not dwell upon all those points. They're very, very hard hitting, and the state way is giving which line we are going. Today, I think the last nail has been put in the coffin of Pakistan when the Prime Minister addressed from Bihar, what is there, and he has given the message for the whole world. The whole world is with you. The terrorism, jihad, this is a radicalized terrorism which they are doing it, and I think the whole world is in our favor, including China. China has condemned this. They have never done it. In 99, I fought Kargil war. China never came in support of Pakistan. All Western countries, today you'll find this time, the Pakistan is singled out. They will not able to survive. And this is what the strategic time. And I think a great decision to go all prong military response you will see, because he has said that world will see and they will repent what they have done it. I think it was enough. They thought that it is a joke. They can keep doing it. In spite of all concession given to them, the ceasefire is still holding it. They didn't break it. But they thought this is a weaknesses. It is not going to be a response like, surgical strike 1 or 48 hours and come back. It is not going to Balakot. It is going to be very, very permanent. I just want to give you a hint. The time of Pakistan is over to exist as a nation.
Okay.
And the last word I will say, it is the Asim Munir started two-nation theory. And a chap like me never believed in two-nation theory. It was the biggest mistake of 47, 48. The time has come to amend that, because two-nation theory has become three-nation as Bangladesh come, and he has started. So I think the conclusion will be, by the Indian state.
Okay, interesting. I want to, on that note, bring in Amjad Ayub Mirza as well. Amjad Ayub Mirza, we don't know currently what the government will do or what the defense forces are planning. I just want to put out that caveat. Every discussion or every comment that is being made is merely being made on the basis of information that is coming in and largely on the basis of speculation. Our Prime Minister today has come and said that the action taken will be unimaginable. We have already seen what has happened in 2019 in response to Pulwama. So, of course, you've seen a surgical strike, you've seen airstrikes as well. What that possible next step is, like I said, only the government knows and the defense forces know. However, what's happened is that clearly Islamabad has been in a huddle for the past 2 days, and the culmination of that huddle has been the statement that has come out today, through which, of course, they've not only suspended diplomatic relations with India, downgraded, our High Commission staff, etc. But on a larger note, they have decided to suspend all bilateral agreements with India, which means that somewhere Pakistan could possibly be looking at now securing the border. Without saying too much, I want to understand from your perspective, if the Pakistani army, and let me also put this out, that the country is currently politically very weak, economically extremely weak, and perhaps militarily also not at its best strength. In that situation, if the Pakistani army is required to divert its resources to its borders towards India, what happens to the rest of the smaller civil wars that continue on in the country?
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, I would like to make a small comment on Shimla agreement cancellation. Well, that's a good thing, because if they really are serious about walking back on Shimla agreement, they should return 13,000 square kilometers of land that India did win back. And then Mrs. Indira Gandhi returned it to Pakistan. And also Pakistan should send back 93,000 prisoners of war, because that is what Shimla agreement was all about. So I don't think that they are talking sense. They don't know what they're talking about. It's a very haphazard situation. Pakistan is already a bankrupt country. It's not necessary that you don't announce that you're bankrupt, so you are not bankrupt. Practically, it's a bankrupt country. The foreign exchange that they hold in the state bank is, they can't use it because it has been given to them to keep it as a guarantee and not to use it. So there is no foreign exchange in Pakistan. There is no internal revenue collection system that can sustain even a short war. Pakistan is engaged in war with its own people. In Balochistan, Pakistan writ of the state does not exist. Today is the seventh day that Sindh, the province of Sindh, is completely shut down. All land routes with Punjab have been, blocked by protesters. Even the rail tracks have been occupied by villagers, protesters. And for 7 days, Pakistan has practically no writ in Sindh as well. So these are two provinces where Pakistan has no writ now as we speak. And in KPK, the situation is like very bad because along the border with Afghanistan, again, Pakistan does not control that. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan control that. Having said that, Pakistan armies don't have the diesel for the tanks, they don't have enough diesel for their vehicles. And today, the Air Chief Marshal reported in the meeting of Armed Forces special meeting that 50% of their aircraft are unfit to fly because of lack of spare parts and fuel as well. So under these circumstances, it reminds me of a slogan that we used to raise when we were in college, which was something like this: कि गिरती हुई दीवारों को एक धक्का और दो. So there is only one halka sa dhakka is required for Pakistan, and Balochistan will become independent country. Sindh will become independent. POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan, there can be not a better time for us to take back POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan. Our BSF, one of our BSF soldiers, by mistake crossed over the LOC and was taken hostage by Pakistan. So they are negotiating currently for his return to India. So things are very tense and situation is really volatile. Pakistan, this is the time, and I would like to take this opportunity to tell you that we are ready. We are ready to join the forces, and I would be really, it would be a moment of my life, lifetime moment if I sit on a Indian tank and enter my city of Mirpur that was fallen on the 25th of November 1947 and take it back.
Okay, Surinder Lali, I want to bring you in on the same point. I want to understand from your perspective, if Pakistan is in no position to really fight any kind of war with India, why do you think they've sat down in the past 2 days and their conclusion has been to suspend bilateral agreements with India? What exactly are they hoping to achieve through this, and what become the larger implications?
Theater of the absurd. It's a billion-dollar question, because I don't think Pakistan also knows what they're trying to do. I mean, right from 1947, a country which was only, the very formation was on the pathological hatred for Yud and Hanood. Otherwise, what binds Pakistan together? It's a rent-an army country, it's a rogue nation, it failed long ago. It is only the Western economies kept them alive for their geopolitical interest. So that's a billion-dollar question. I mean, the Shimla Agreement also kept in abeyance. I find it more hilarious because I guess the gloves are off, the line of control doesn't exist. And as Amjadji rightly said, then the 93,000 prisoners need to be sent back and we should get our land back, and the gloves are off, which are in any way off. Devika, revenge is something which is best when served hot, and this is what I could see with the Honorable Prime Minister today. I mean, I was getting goose flesh watching him, and especially when in Bihar, he chose to address in English. I think it's going to be very expensive and very expansive for Pakistan, because we always knew that we cannot control terrorism by killing terrorists. It's the fountainhead, which is the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which is even a disgrace on the Islamic world, because what they have done in J&K,
who's going to get hurt? It's the local people, which are over 99% from the same religion that Pakistan claims to be the savior of. So it's a country which is absolutely absurd, where there is no prime minister that's ever completed a term, but now coming back on us. I think अब बस बहुत हो चुका है. I mean बहुत हो गया. We've given them a very long rope, a very long leash, and I think now, even as you rightly said, even I don't know. I'm not privy to what's going to happen, but Devika, it's something which is going to be unprecedented. The way the Prime Minister was speaking, the way we've already created a consensus, and I take it to the next step. If not now, then when? Thank you, Devika.
Okay, I want to bring in Group Captain VN Jha into this as well. Group Captain VN Jha, if the line of control as we know it ceases to exist, or Pakistan now ceases to recognize it, which is essentially what the statement means, that they are the ones who are putting these agreements on abeyance, or they are the ones who are suspending these agreements, what really are the implications of that? Because essentially that was one of the key points of the Simla agreement, was the recognition of what we know today as the line of control.
Devika, first of all, what is happening in the last few hours is just childish. Look, you don't change course with a child's cry. What Pakistan is doing right now, it baffles everyone, any expert. If you are going for your country, for your nation, defend your nation, or thinking the well of your nation, you should not put into jeopardy. Right now, every step Pakistan is taking, it is pushing Pakistan back into the gloom. Now, having said that, army is in no position to fight, because there is a rebellion within the army itself in Pakistan. About 2,000 or 3,000 people have already left and run away, not even resigned. They have just run away from army. Baloch is being ruled by BLA. KPK is being ruled by another militant group, Tariq, and remaining area. He has already told you, Mr. Ayub has told you that Sindh is closed. So Pakistan is virtually on its knees for all practical purposes. And when it said yesterday, or rather today, what it should not have said, suspending the bilateral agreement. Look, Shimla agreement is, it can be said it is a bilateral, but there are two resolutions in the UNSC which is passed on the basis of the Shimla agreement. Is Pakistan going to run to UNSC to withdraw those resolutions? It can't, because any UNSC resolution has to be cancelled only by a very different mechanism. It's too difficult. So that cannot be done. Now, there are many other bilateral agreements which can be nulled to the India's advantage, as all panelists have said. So is Pakistan really going on to that? This bankrupt nation, this nation which is being ruled indirectly by the army, and that army also is being thrust to a corner because ISI is taking hold of it. It's very difficult situations right now, and I'm not sure if this situation is going to remain for even few days, weeks. I'm sure there will be changes. There will be changes on the hour basis. Maybe tomorrow you will listen something else from Pakistan. And India has not yet taken step. I'm not going to speculate anything. It is just the beginning that India has said. We are putting on abeyance the treaty. Diplomatic thing doesn't carry much of the meaning. It keeps on happening between various nations. You reduce the strength of the diplomats. That's okay. That is not going to hurt very severely. But what is going to hurt is the step which will be coming like a bolt from the blue. I can't say anything more than this. I don't know anything what is happening, what is going to happen in the coming maybe hours or days, when it is going to happen. But I think there will be cracker show sometime in Pakistan that we should be ready to witness it. Beyond this, I can't tell you anything, but yes, as every panelist have said, it is a child's action by Pakistan. They should not have first indulged into it, but then that is their nature. Jihadi action is their nature, that is in their blood, that they have been doing, they are expert in this. We Indians, especially the Hindus, someone said on our panel that I'm glad, I think Professor Nalpat said, I'm glad that there was no retaliation, though no other violence. Mr. Nalpat, you will be surprised. There was no retaliation, no violence here in this case because it was Hindus killed. Had it been any other community been killed, you would have seen, arson in that area which is led by them. Let us, we have seen this happening. I have lived in Kashmir during those days of 90s, 91, 92, 93.
Okay.
I've lived in Srinagar. So let's not get waylaid by the narrative being said. But yes, all of us, we keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't escalate into something which could lead into the disaster. I'm not sure if we should be scared of Pakistan being a nuke state. No, we are not scared of that. Today, there are so many nations in the world which is at war, which are the nuke states. So, I think Pakistan has hit the bullet into its own pelvis. They are going to regret it.
Okay, well, okay. I want to quickly bring in Major General KK Sinha back into the conversation. Major General KK Sinha, another crucial aspect of the Simla agreement was essentially both the countries settling on the matter that all differences will be settled bilaterally. That became one of the key highlights, or rather the key takeaways of the Simla agreement as well, beyond the LOC and of course decisions to decide on matters vis-a-vis Kashmir bilaterally, but largely the aim was that all matters between India and Pakistan will be resolved by India and Pakistan. Do you believe that the decision to suspend the Simla agreement could possibly also be an indication by Pakistan or a means for Pakistan to ensure that in case there is some sort of a strike or some sort of a retaliatory attack by India, that it has the option open to then once again go, as it does always, the begging bowl that it is, to countries across the world?
Look, Devika, the Pakistan, if you think that, when everything gets loose, especially when the bullets will be flying and when we will be marching toward this, they will be able to get someone supports. I think, it was highly mistaken. There is no support. All Arab countries, Muslim world have, other than Turkey. Even Turkey was talking about, in UN, Erdogan was talking in UN. But last two, this thing, he is also left. I think therefore yesterday, Sawaj Sharif was there. He was trying to, bring it from there that, Kashmir. I think he has not even endorsed. Other than that, no country, you take it from me, including China, when it comes down to actual brass tack, when the things will be there, because the chances are there, the POK and critical Pakistan, through which the CPAC comes. The days of CPAC is over. You think that the naval blockade will be not put? Karachi will be naval blockade. There will be a blockade into what they have made it in. They are talking about the CPAC thing. Godar, it will be there, because that is the way that our maritime forces have got the things to do in this capability, and they can't do it anything else because Malacca dilemma is there with them. They know. So the Chinese I'm talking about, Malacca. So as far the Pakistan is concerned, they have already shot themselves in their foot.
Right.
Now Simla agreement, one point, in LOC, line of control, 740 kilometer, LOC has come in Simla agreement. India was not in the favor, but we gave it. Now LOC is gone. So as far we are concerned, if the LOC has gone, both Gilgit-Baltistan, what we claimed in 1947-48, which is rightly us, through us, is that area. So it goes towards the Indus line. When we are talking about about, because that is what the in the international border is. International border, if you understand, after Palanwala, which is the zero line, LOC starts. So from Maliat, from that Manovar Tavi, it goes up, and that's why this Indus Water Treaty. Marala headwork is ours now. We don't have to say, because people who understand this thing, on ground, so it has got a meaning, and they have again they've fired on their foot, and I think it's going to pay. It is very good. I congratulate. I thank Pakistan. Whoever they can't understand what is this. So I think we are in a right track, and I think determined. And I think these are not only what we are saying and discussing. We have got a capability. World is with us. The time is absolutely right. The strategic, this time will never get it. Pakistan is already gone. Not only the 4 provinces, Sindh, Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and also the Dural line. They have opened up. They are hitting from that side. And in Punjab, it has started. In their Punjab, I'm not talking in our Punjab. In their Punjab, it has started. So I think, I don't know, only, mad people can think of it. And if Munir, whose IQ is very, very low, and he has given opportunity, I thank him. He has given this opportunity. Of course, not this, 26 people killed. That revenge, their father, forefather, and their children will, remember what they have done it. And I again say this, if you give me a time, 1 second more, the two-nation theory is never, we are in favor of it. It was given to us and the time has come, the two-nation theory has become, one nation. And that is what the Akhand Bharat, when we talk about.
Okay, as we're speaking, more developments coming in. Let's put this out on our screens as well. The MEA has now put out more information. They've said, firstly, Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has called Prime Minister Narendra Modi and strongly condemned the terror attack on Indian soil. He expressed solidarity with the people of India and the families of the victims. PM Modi shared the barbaric nature of the cross-border terrorist attack and reiterated India's firm resolve to bring the perpetrators and their supporters to justice. So this is, of course, a conversation that has taken place between Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We've also been informed now that His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan has called Prime Minister Narendra Modi and strongly condemned the ghastly terror attack. He has conveyed sincere condolences at the loss of innocent lives. He has said that terrorism should be rejected in all its forms and manifestations, and there can be no justification for it. PM has thanked King Abdullah II for his message of solidarity and shared the sentiments of the people of India to take firm action against the perpetrators and those behind this heinous attack. Meanwhile, Dr. S. Jaishankar has now put out on X the following image along with this caption: pleased to meet the Foreign and Security Policy Advisor to German Chancellor. Appreciate Germany's expression of solidarity on the recent terrorist attack in India. I have thanked him for his immense contribution to India-Germany ties. Several nations now calling on India and expressing solidarity while they condemn the barbaric terror attack in Pahalgam. I want to once again bring in Professor Madhav Nalapat. Professor Nalapat, before I jumped into some of the latest developments, we were discussing the possibility of Pakistan perhaps going to nations across the world. But this time, Professor Nalapat, the situation is entirely different. We've also seen today that diplomats of almost all nations have been called by the MEA and given a briefing on the situation, on the developing situation. Professor Nalapat, what really do you think could be the possible international inclinations as far as the India-Pakistan situation is concerned in the next few weeks, I would say?
Well, I would say that frankly, we have an open sesame to take whatever action is necessary to secure the lives and livelihood of the people of India from what's happening as a result of activity by Pakistan, and of course encouraged by a very large country which I have no need to name. But the reality of the situation is that Prime Minister Modi speaking in English has a tremendous significance. It means he's reaching the world audience. And may I say, the world is hearing him and the world is responding. Everywhere around the world, you're seeing expressions of support. So I think this is a sign that yes, if there's ever a good time to ensure that a strong action is taken, the better. And may I point out that unfortunately, because of Shimla, the Pakistan army could get away with the fact that it was utterly defeated. A completely defeated army will be completely detested by its own population, and I think you're going to see the army itself suffer the consequences of their planned attack, and I think the army itself is going to be a casualty in Pakistan. So I want to say partition was indeed a tragedy, especially for the Muslim community. The divide among the Muslims has actually been very harmful to the Muslim community. And as a consequence, I would like to say that when you talk about, when you talk about, when I was talking about communal harmony, I was simply saying that overall, people understand that this has been done by a handful of individuals linked to the Pakistan military. It means that that action is called for against that particular military. And I do believe that the time is opportune for that. For a simple reason, as far as China is concerned, it's preoccupied, frankly, with certain issues, mostly with the US, also because of Taiwan, and maintaining its effort to create a chokehold South China Sea. So I don't think China is going to get in the way, especially when the whole world is united behind India. I mean, a panelist talked about the Chinese giving a condemnation. Well, I think they can start by stopping providing the kind of assistance they give to the Pakistan army, which is frankly supporting terrorism. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But the reality is, Devika, it's very significant the Prime Minister spoke in English. He is speaking worldwide. The world is listening to him, and the world is responding to him. So I think the next steps that are being planned, I don't know what they are, but they're definitely going to be very severe in their consequences, including on the Pakistan army, and which frankly, the only reason why Sindh and Balochistan and Pashtunistan are still technically part of Pakistan is because of the army. And if that army crumbles, well, then Pakistan will have a problem. Unfortunately, Shimla Agreement saved the Pakistan military, just as, I'm sorry to say, a subsequent agreement that was signed, essentially when certain mountain heights were taken over and an agreement was signed. And that gave the military an option to say that no, they were not driven out of Kargil. They gave it up willingly, and they fed these lies to the Pakistan people. This time, the Pakistan people will not believe lies. They know their army is the source of their misery. Thank you, Devika.
Okay, all right. I have to slip into a very quick break, but we will come back with more news on the other side. Viewers, stay tuned.